Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We're a week and a half into fall camp. Look, just 3 weeks away from kicking things off against Virginia in Nashville. It's almost go time. I'm excited about this football team. I'm getting excited about the defense, about the front seven. We've been talking about it the last couple of days. Did a great live stream Wednesday night with Ben McKee breaking down fall camp. Also talked about the scrimmage yesterday in a video. If you missed that, go back and check it out. But Tennessee still has some work to get done on the recruiting trail, and it starts with one of the top players in the country, 5-star defensive lineman Williams Nwaneri. Says he's going to be committing at Lee Summit North High School on August the 14th at 3 p.m. in the gym. Everybody is welcome. And I know, we're going to be covering that live right here on the channel. I'll let you guys know the exact time. I'm not sure if that's 3 Eastern, 3 Central. I've also seen 8 p.m. So I've got to dial in the time. We're going to be doing a live stream right here on the channel. We're going to take you all the way up to the commitment. And I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, Boogie, you're wasting your time. Why do you do this? It's your fault. The kids go somewhere else because you live streaming. I get it. You're going to say he's going to Oklahoma. But then it's going to get funny because some of you other guys are going to say, no, he's going to Missouri. And then others will say, he's going to Georgia. The thing is, I have been waiting for Coach Rodney Garner to pull a rabbit out of his hat. He always works that magic in the final hour. Can that be something that he does with Williams Nwaneri, or is he off to Georgia? Is he off to Missouri? Is he off to Oklahoma? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about his recruitment. We're going to talk about where the Vols are at in this thing going into decision day. But as always, you guys know what to do. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick, free, and easy, and it helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't talk at you. We talk with you. We don't pretend to be X's and O's guys. We are just diehard, passionate Tennessee fans. That's what this channel is all about. If you like it, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Like I said, we're a little over 3 weeks away from it being football time in Tennessee. We do a post-game show immediately after every game. So if you're pissed off, if you're excited, if you want somebody to celebrate, if you want somebody to break it down with, come right here immediately after every game. Always a good time doing the post-game shows here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. But let's talk about Williams Nwaneri. Again, big-time target. I mean, you're talking about the On3 industry rankings have him as the number 3 ranked player in the country. On3 has him number 1 across the board. Best player, best defensive lineman, number 1 player out of the state of Missouri. And being out of the state of Missouri is something that's very interesting about this recruitment, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But Williams Nwaneri scouting report, Alan Treyu, real quickly going to run through this just to give you guys an idea of how good of a player Williams Nwaneri is. He's got verified size, length, and testing data that is impressive for a player of his build and age. Rare change of direction and agility numbers at his size. Was a good young prospect as a freshman and a sophomore, but showed big developmental strides on the field as a junior. Has quickness off the ball and foot speed in pursuit. Will improve those qualities of his are at a high national level. Used his hands better, and when combined with his physical gifts, make him a very tough guy to block. Does not let offensive linemen get clean punches off on him, and is able to turn himself and get skinny to help with that. Can shade inside or play on the edge, and is going to be able to project to any defensive scheme based on his size, strong side end, or 3-4 defensive end, or where we project he will end up, although a rare enough athlete that he can be an edge pass rusher at his size. If the development we saw between sophomore and junior year continues, he is an elite national prospect who will impact college play early and be an early draft pick. So that's the scouting report. Again, Alan Treyu from 247 Sports. Now, this recruitment has been interesting, and I know some of you guys are going to look right at the On3 RPM recruiting prediction machine there. You're going to see Oklahoma at 55.9% and say it is over. That's all I care about. Now, the On3 RPM has been interesting because since January, this is just since January, Oregon has been out front. Kansas has been out front. Missouri, now Oklahoma. And you guys remember, Tennessee was at one point considered the favorite. Some of the insiders had Tennessee out front, and they called it a coin toss a lot between Tennessee and Oklahoma. He's had a crystal ball from 247 Sports that was put in back in March from Brandon Drum of Sooners Illustrated. But then Georgia entered the picture, and Williams Nwaneri completely shut down communication with Tennessee. And we said it was over. It was done. We were moving on. So if you don't think Tennessee has a chance, my question is this: why did Williams Nwaneri reopen the lines of communication with Tennessee? He's been having having conversations with him all week. According to VolQuest, they said he's been talking to them all week leading up to the decision, going to continue even if Williams Nwaneri ends up elsewhere. They're going to continue to push. They're going to continue to recruit Williams Nwaneri. Now, this is from Chad Simmons at on3.com. Says, based on intel, no school or coach has been given a definite answer from the number 3 prospect in the On3 industry rankings. He said there are still conversations being held between multiple parties. Nwaneri is looking at multiple things, including relationships, player development, and NIL opportunities. Now, that's where it gets interesting with Williams Nwaneri, is the NIL opportunities. We all know if we lose a recruit, it was because of NIL. If we get a recruit, it's because we're the greatest team on the face of the earth. It's always about money when you lose out on some of these kids. But it's not always the case. There's so much that goes into it, like Chad Simmons said there, relationships, player development, getting guys to the league. All those things factor in to the decision that these kids make. Now, you talk about NIL. It gets interesting because, again, Williams Nwaneri out of the state of Missouri, Lee Summit, Missouri, and they passed a law that states if you choose an in-state school, so if Williams Nwaneri commits to any college in the state of Missouri, then he is eligible to be paid as a high school senior. That's interesting. It's very interesting that it can be worded that way to give you an advantage. Now, we all know the deal with Nico, right? He was eligible to get paid, but it was regardless of where he ended up. It's a California law that allows high school seniors to be paid to play to play football. So that it is what it is. But when you have a law that clearly states you have to commit to the in-state school in order to qualify for payments as a high school senior, it's very interesting. And we also saw recently with Ryan Wingo, 5-star wide receiver, magically received the prediction to Missouri. Everybody's saying, Boogie, why in the world would Wingo end up at Missouri? Same situation as Williams Nwaneri. So I would love to hear from you guys on that. Jump into the comment and let's talk about that law that allows Missouri kids to get paid as high school players only if they commit to an in-state school. Now, you could open up a whole can of worms here. What happens if they commit to the in-state school, they start getting paid as a high school senior, and then they flip and they're off to somewhere else? I don't know. It's a very interesting conversation worth having. But again, according to VolQuest, Tennessee's still having conversations. Like I said at the top of the video, I keep waiting for Rodney Garner to pull that rabbit out of his hat. Again, from Chad Simmons, best relationships are with him and the Oklahoma staff. When it comes to player development, it's hard to go against Georgia. Missouri is the favorite when talking NIL because of the different laws in his home state. While still in high school, Nwaneri would be able to benefit from his pledge to the Tigers instantly. That could not happen with a commitment to Georgia, Oklahoma, Oregon, or Tennessee. But this is what I like. At the very end here of Chad Simmons giving his opinion, he says, this isn't over. And he says, even if Nwaneri commits, it won't be over. A few weeks ago, he said he was hearing more Georgia and Missouri, but the Sooners have picked things back up. I am told this battle will go on well past August the 14th. So again, how does Coach Rodney Garner close out this defensive line in the class of 24? Because I keep waiting, right? I keep waiting for Rodney Garner to work that magic. And maybe it's going to be a player that's not even on our radar right now. That's something, I'm not slamming the door shut and saying Rodney Garner can't recruit. That is not what I'm saying at all. But you have to ask, as of right now, you've got 4-star edge Kellen Lindstrom, who's a guy that I think a lot of us are sleeping on. He's a top 300 prospect at On3, 4-star edge rusher. Got a couple of 3-star prospects in the boat, Jeremiah Hurd, Carson Gentle. I think it would be fair to say that's not good enough. That's not good enough, but we've still got a long way till December. How does this thing close out? I don't think that Camarion Franklin ends up at Tennessee. Jordan Ross is an interesting one. I feel confident. For some reason, I feel confident that Tennessee is going to land Jordan Ross. Obviously, we've talked about them being in a good spot with Danny Okoye. Another interesting note from VolQuest said that Cam Fountain is still having regular conversations with Tennessee and is likely to visit this fall. So even though he went out on the trip to USC, he committed. Can Tennessee get Cam Fountain back interested in coming to Rocky Top? So that's one to keep an eye on. But what do you guys think about Coach G and recruiting on the defensive line in this class of 24 cycle? Again, I continue to wait and expect him to pull that rabbit out of his hat. But we'll see what happens with Williams Nwaneri on Monday. We are going to cover it live on the channel. Whether people like it or don't like it, you can watch it or not watch it. I just think it's a fun time to jump on here, talk some recruiting, break down some of the film, and then also we'll talk about this defensive line and the targets moving forward. And I like to do that as a community versus just talking into a camera and a microphone by myself. I enjoy the lives and the interactions with you guys. But hit the comment section. Let's talk about it. What do you think about those Missouri NIL laws? What do you think about Rodney Garner's recruiting on the defensive line. And then, as always, smash a thumbs up on the way out the door. Hit that join button down below. We are giving away a free t-shirt to one of the new members on this channel between now and next Wednesday when we do the live stream at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can check out the merch at bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS, but one of you new members is going to get a free t-shirt. So hit that join button for $1 a month. That's all we're asking. $1 a month to keep the lights on around here. Give me the opportunity to create content for you guys every single day. I'm grateful for all the members of the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.